Hey everybody, this is Ted Check, recovering reporter. So you probably heard, or you may not have, that former UFC lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov was recently kicked off of an airline flight. Well, geez, it had to be because he was profiled, because he's a Muslim. Well, but I think there's a little bit more to the story than that, or at least I can present to you a couple of things that you may or may not have seen. So Adam Mayer, I don't know who this guy is. He tweeted or he posted on X, legendary Dagestani and UFC athlete. I think he's retired, so he wouldn't be considered a UFC athlete anymore. But anyway, Habib Nurmagomedov was subject to blatant racial profiling and removed from. So it's immediately this guy jumps to that. There's a knee-jerk reaction. Blatant racial profiling. I mean, how do we know? How do we know that it is? Let's kind of use some critical thinking here. After being deemed unfit to sit in the emergency exit row. Team Habib, I'm sorry you experienced this, especially in the USA. Frontier Airlines, your organization and crew should be ashamed of yourself. Do better. I command you. Shame, shame, shame. So let's listen a little. Let's watch a little bit of this. Maybe.
It's not about going.
So he says, this is Habib right here with the hoodie on, with his hood pulled up. It's like, dude, you're in a climate-controlled environment. There's no need for you to have a hood on. Take the hood off, and maybe you'll relieve some of that suspicion right there. But beyond that, he is sitting in the exit row. This is the side, one of the side exits, and there's one on the other side. That's the handle right there. And as probably most of you know, if you sit in this seat, you are assuming responsibility, and they'll ask you that you assume responsibility for pulling the lever when it's time to do so. When it comes down to it, when it's time to deplane, when it's time to exit in an emergency situation, can you be expected? Can you be trusted to pull this lever? And apparently there was something going on that the flight attendants didn't like. Either he said, I know the language, I know how to help people, but I think they're beyond that point at this point, when the person started recording.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're either gonna have you switch your seat because my flight attendants are not allowing you to sit in that seat row.
Yeah, so they're giving him an option.
Or you're gonna have to get off this plane in the water.
He's being given an option here. Either you move to a different seat or you can leave. One or the other. See, when you're on an airplane, and he's got to know this by now. He's been on probably far more airplanes than I have in my life, and I'm probably twice as old as the guy. But when you're on an airplane, you are the responsibility of the people that are running the airline, the flight, the flight attendants and the pilots. You're their responsibility. You kind of give up certain things when you agree to hop onto a metal tube that is going to be speeding through the air. You have to give up a little bit, and for the safety of all. For the safety of all, and the flight attendants take their job seriously in looking at the people like Habib who are in this position. It's not a flight attendant that sits here. They can't because they're busy doing other things. So you've got to rely on a just regular old citizen to do this type of job that a flight attendant would normally be expected to do. So it's on them to be a good judge of character and determine whether they feel safe with the person who's sitting right here.
Because they're not comfortable with my flight attendants.
They're not comfortable. The flight attendants are not comfortable. So eventually, let's move ahead here. He decides he's going to leave. So I think both of these guys are with him as well. At least one of those guys, if not both of those guys, were with him, because they'll show you in a second through the great camera work here. Yeah, this dude's gonna grab his bag and go. So at least one other guy. So he chose to. This was the hill he was going to die on. He chose that he's going to take a stand and waste his time and waste these guys' time rather than just weighing it out and saying, yeah, you know what? It'd probably be easier if I just moved my seat. Um, I just don't see what the real big problem was. Uh, so then you get to Frontier Airlines issued a news release because they probably were receiving some heat for this. So they say on January 11th, 2025, as Flight 4401 from Las Vegas to San Francisco was preparing for departure, a flight attendant initiated the customary briefing for exit row passengers. Customer Khabib Nurmagomedov, who was seated in an exit row, was asked multiple times if he was willing and able to assist in the event of an emergency. According to the flight attendant, Mr. Nurmagomedov did not respond, despite repeated attempts, which placed him in non-compliance with FAA requirements. So the FAA governs all of the airlines and all of the flights in the United States. That's the Federal Aviation Administration. Serious stuff. Like, you don't want to run afoul with the FAA, or else you're not going to be able to fly. You're not going to be able to make money if you're an airline. So they have to adhere to all of the safety requirements. The flight attendant informed Mr. Nurmagomedov that he could be moved to a different upgraded seat or exit the plane. Videos circulating on social media platforms do not capture this interaction and instead show a subsequent interaction after a gate agent. Okay, that was the woman who was talking with Khabib, was a gate agent, because she said, my flight attendants. So that's where the video picks up. So we miss this part here. We only see the second part of the video. That's when the person decided they were going to start recording. The gate agent entered the plane and reiterated the option to be reseated. So we didn't see this exchange between Khabib and the flight attendant, but if you want to believe Frontier Airlines, he didn't respond to her. He didn't respond to the flight attendant. As a result of the customer's initial unresponsiveness and repeated declination, so he actually declined the seat change. He was asked to deplane per airline and FAA policy. So the policy says if the person's going to be unresponsive, you got to deplane them. You got to look at the safety of the entire, of all of the passengers. You can't look at one person. You have to look at, the safety of the airplane and of all the people on the airplane and all the people working on the airplane. So the decision to deplane the customer was in no way related to his ethnicity, and we have refunded him and his traveling companions for their flights. So this, to me, as a public relations specialist myself, this is a great, excellent news release because it's short, it's to the point, it clears up any of the misconceptions, and they show that they followed FAA policy, and they come out smelling like a rose because they gave him his money back. They didn't have to give him, they could have said, hey, see you later, take a hike, hit the road, and that's it. But they gave him his money back too. No hard feelings. No hard feelings. It's just business. They didn't feel comfortable, and that's that. But it's not like they're gonna ban him from flying on the airlines or anything like that. I don't think. I don't know, but I don't think. So they gave him his money back. So they come out smelling like a rose, and we're left with, well, geez, Khabib, why did you decide to get all weird on them? If that is in fact the case. If that is in fact, we may never truly know. We weren't there. And the video only shows the second half of the interaction. So we may truly never know what went on, but at least we have a clearer picture because now we have this news. We have part of the video. We have the video of the second half right here, what this describes, and we have the news release provided by Frontier Airlines. So it gives us a little bit of a clearer picture, I would say. But yeah, what do you guys think of all this? I mean, Khabib has been on, like I said, he's been on a ton of flights. Maybe he's never been in that position. That he would be the one to pull the door and let the shootout, so you can shoot CHUTE shoot. In order to deplane in an emergency. Maybe he's never been in that position. Some people get freaked out by it. So why didn't he just move? I mean, why not just weigh it out and be like, yeah, you know what? Let's be reasonable here. I'll just move rather than wasting my time, rather than wasting their time. and being difficult about it. Why do we always have to be difficult? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. But anyway, let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you later.